Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Podcasting with Will show. I am Will. This is a quick short on the NCAA tournament. So that's what's going on right now. So we are in the Sweet 16 now. Yes. And let's go back to the first round in the East. The 1 seed was Duke. 16 seed was Siena. Duke beat Siena 71-65. Siena's coach Jerry McNamara, Syracuse basketball legend, is now the head coach of Syracuse. Then we had the 8-9 matchup, Ohio State, TCU. TCU won that matchup. And then the 5-12, you had St. John's versus Northern Iowa. St. John's would win that. 4-13, you had Kansas versus Cal Baptist. Kansas would win 68-60. Cal Baptist, their first NCAA tournament appearance, not bad. 8-point loss to one of the blue blood college basketball programs. Then you had the 6-11 Louisville versus South Florida. A lot of people picked that as an upset, but Louisville would hang on to win in the 6-11 matchup, 83-79. Now, here was one of my upsets. In the 3-14, I had Michigan State and North Dakota State. I had North Dakota State winning. Michigan State would win 92-67. And then my other big upset was like Bama, Hofstra. I had Bama winning that one in the brackets. And then, so like Michigan State won. Then you had 7-10, UCLA, UCF. UCLA would hang on to win by 4. And then the 2-15, Furman versus UConn. UConn will win at 82-71. Then when we get to the second round, you had UConn beating UCLA, and this is for the East. UConn beating UCLA in the 2-7 matchup, and then you had Michigan State beating Louisville. Well, UConn UCLA was 73-57. Michigan State Louisville in the 3-6 was 77-69. St. John's Kansas in the 4-5 was a 67-65 last-second buzzer beater. It's awesome. Then you had Duke beating TCU 81-58. So you'll have Duke St. John's in one Sweet 16 and Michigan State UConn in the other. So 1 versus 5 and 2 versus 3. So in my opinion, like the 8-9, 7-10, those aren't really upsets if like the 9 wins or the 10 wins. In my opinion, even though one's ranked higher. So, and then like you obviously got a 2-3 and then a 1 versus 5. It's, honestly, a 5 beating a 4 is not really a big upset. There's points where this year where both Kansas and St. John's were thought to be number 1 seeds. And then when you click on down, we'll get on the South Regional. You got Florida versus Prairie View A&M in the 1 versus 16 matchup for the South. And that's all for this short. Stay tuned for the next one where I will continue with the South Regional.